Hi there, this is Matt with Everyday MTB, and today we're going to be taking a look at a tire from a maybe slightly less known tire company, and that tire company is V Tires. So today we're going to be looking at the V Tire Flow Snap 2.6 inch Enduro tire. So before we get riding here, let's just take a quick look at the tire itself. As you can see, I've already actually been out riding it a bit. And this is a 2.6 inch and 29 inch tire here that I have on my Marin Alpine Trail. And we're going to be taking this out on some desert terrain here today. So we're going to have some hard rock slab sections that we'll be riding over. And then we are also going to have probably a bit of loose over hard, and then some more clayey soil as well. So we'll be able to get it through a fair amount of different types of terrain today. I will mention too that the rear tire is not a flow snap. I have a Maxxis Aggressor tire on the rear. So we're just going to be focusing on the front here. This bike actually came stocked with this V tire on both the front and the back. But unfortunately, we had some manufacturing inconsistencies with the rear tire, and I took it out for one ride and it developed a very severe wobble. I'll show you a clip of that here right now. So even without that severe wobble on the rear, I did feel in my initial test riding like probably having this aggressive of a tire on the front and the back was probably overkill for the type of terrain that I'm riding. If you maybe were in very loamy soil, very loose soil, organic kind of stuff, it might have worked out a little bit better, but it seemed like you were probably sacrificing a fair amount of rolling resistance and not really getting the kind of traction that you need for the terrain that I ride back from that trade-off. So we're just going to be running as a front where we do want kind of maximum grip for hard cornering, and we'll see what we get here today. All right, so as we get into my ride impressions here, let's talk about my setup a bit. So I'm running today between 21 and 22 pounds in the test tire up front and about 25 in the back. This is in line with what I run in other comparable tires. For example, in a Maxxis DHF, which would be kind of just my standard go-to tire on the front, I'd probably be running about 23 pounds. I usually run that in a 2.4 or a 2.5. This is a 2.6, so I'm dropping the pressure just slightly because in theory I might have a little bit more volume, and so far that theory has been working fine. Haven't had any bottom outs of the tire so far. All right, so we are about 3 miles into this ride here, and I would say so far this tire up front has been really not giving me any trouble, which is the first good sign I think of any mountain bike component at all. Is can you hop on a bike with that component that you aren't used to that component yet, and it feels natural to go for a ride. And so far I'm getting that. I can lean into turns and it's not doing weird things up over some rocky slabs climbing. So far it's been getting good grip. It hasn't been doing weird knob fold over things or stuff like that. The knobs don't feel overly harsh and they don't feel overly soft either. So far I think we are maybe onto a winner here. Let's see what we run into next. So here we're getting it into some pretty loose sandy area. This is a dirt bike trail, so there are areas that get chewed up, and it seems to be tracking very well. Then we go right back to hard pack, and it feels natural there too.
And then we switch back to traditional single track, kind of loose over hard is how I would call this. Feels great here too. So that's pretty impressive because it's relatively easy to make a tire that does one thing good. Be it maybe it has really good traction on rock slabs, maybe it gives you lots of grip in sandy areas, but to have it handle a wide variety of soil and rocks that we're seeing on this trail, 2 thumbs up for me. It is pretty interesting to me that when I had these tires mounted for a short time, front and rear, this entire bike felt pretty sluggish. And now just having the V tire up front with the aggressor in the rear, this is really feeling like a nice combo. A little pecky here. Over some stuff, down through some stuff. Yeah, this is money.
All right, so there are a couple things today that we aren't going to be able to look at in this first review of the Flow Snap tire. First off, we aren't going to be able to look at long-term durability. That's just something that we need to get more hours on it. So we'll come back with an updated review once we do have some more hours on it here. The other thing that we can't get into today is, of course, all-terrain. We are riding desert single track, which does give us, I believe, a good approximation of a lot of the types of soil that you're going to run into out there, but not everything, of course. So this is just a review of the types of soil that I have access to here. Finally, we do have that caveat of that weird wobble that we got on the rear tire. So that is going to be something that if you bought the tire new and it didn't just come on a bike, you would be able to probably warranty with that or return it to whoever you purchased it through. But we just took it off, put a different tire on, and moved on with our day. So something to keep in mind, there might be some quality control issues, something I haven't ever seen in other tires to that degree. I have seen wobbles, of course, before, inconsistencies in casings, that type of thing, but never to that degree. I will say that these tires took more pressure than usual to seat the beads into the rims. I remounted a Maxxis tire on the rear. That was a brand new tire, mounted up way easier than these V tires. Not sure what the dynamic is there. We obviously haven't mounted this tire on a ton of different rims, but just using this rim and the Maxxis kind of as a control, it does seem like it maybe takes a little bit more effort to get it seated. We still seated it with a hand pump. That was not an issue, but we didn't break out the air compressor or anything like that. But it is something to keep in mind that maybe the bead on it is not quite as refined as maybe some other tires that we've tested. All right, so to wrap things up here, I guess what can we say about this tire here right now? Well, I think we can say that it does perform very well as a front tire. There are some questions as far as durability and quality control, but we can use this tire in the front with confidence as far as the performance that it's going to deliver us. The longevity of that performance, we're going to have to check back on that. But I'm really enjoying this tire up front. For me, it's a little bit too much tire in the rear. you could go ahead and try out this V tire and you might be pleasantly surprised. The compound I've been super happy with. Sidewalls, as far as like rolling over, anything like that, been super happy with that. It just feels like a solid tire. I've been pleasantly surprised. All right, so thanks for tuning in today. I would like to just remind you guys that if you can subscribe, that would be awesome. That helps out this channel and the everydaymtb.com website, and it helps us provide you with more reviews like this.